Hello, welcome to today's podcast. We're not in the car because it's raining and it just makes too much noise.
Too much noise.
But today we're going to talk about our reactions to the Austrian Grand Prix, which I didn't actually catch all of. So you'll have to, I caught the last bit. Yeah, I was at work. So I caught the last bit,
the best
which
bit.
seemed, I remember watching the last bit thinking, oh, it's been quite a good race. And then, I watched the highlights.
It was literally, the story of it was first 3 laps, great. Last 3 laps, great. Everything in between.
What's this about Bottas jumping the line then? Or jumping the start?
It was a perfect start.
I think it was a perfect start.
But isn't there a rule where if you anticipate you're going to be green line and then you green line you go then, isn't that also you have to wait until and then it is?
Well, they'd say they have rules put in place so you can't anticipate it. But there was something because he did move just before it.
Yeah, but I think that was just a camera angle. Through the sensors, he didn't.
Well,
I think
sensors are way more accurate than.
Yeah, so I think there's a certain.
You can anticipate it perfectly, and
yes, but you're not allowed to anticipate it because I think the lights have to be on, so the red light's on at the start for between 5 and 7 seconds, and it's anywhere between there. So yes, if you get to 6.9 seconds, you're going to guess it's in the next 0.1 of a second, but it could also be anywhere else between that. So it just makes it a bit more random, and it is down to reaction time, not down to you counting to 5.
It was lovely to watch though.
Where did Hamilton qualify? Yeah,
he qualified third,
but he had a penalty.
Right, what was that?
He illegally replaced his gearbox.
Not illegally. Technically, yes, but
well, it should have been technically illegal then.
It was illegal change of the gearbox.
Yeah.
Why did he change it?
There's a problem with it. They weren't going to get.
So if it's faulty, it's illegal to change. You have to go carry on as it is.
No, it's just a part. It's a major part, and it should work throughout the weekend. So if you change the gearbox, you are during a certain amount, during the Grand Prix or during the weekend, it could be seen as unfair advantage and everything. So even though yes, if you leave it in a broken gearbox, you're just going to ruin everything.
Yeah, so you have to take a penalty essentially.
Yeah. So
it's definitely the most common penalty.
But how many seconds did they? Hey, what's this?
Apart from Honda, they had
200 place grid penalty.
They had 155 grid place penalty for one driver last year at Spa, I think it was.
In one race, did you say?
Yeah.
For one driver.
How?
Just loads and loads.
So do they do it in terms of position or times?
No. Okay. So the 155 place. So they do it per part. So if you and these things, they're things called tokens. So however much the parts are that you're replacing, all those tokens add up.
Yeah, but is it laps? Is it positions or is it?
It's positions on the grid. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. So you can start first, and if you've got 10 place grid penalty, you start 11th.
Yeah.
If you start 22nd, if you qualify last, you'll start 22nd.
Yeah.
But I think
if you qualify anywhere at 155, you're going to be last.
You're going to be last.
what I find insane about Formula 1 is that when you look at the qualifying position, there's that not actually much time difference between the top and if you think about it in Formula 1,
really,
there is.
In real life,
it's how many seconds is on average? You say between first and 20th. It's probably 4 seconds. So there's not because I remember it was
2.5,
which is insane when you think about it. Just that.
Oh yeah.
In terms of first, do you think of dead last as someone who's not really that good?
Yeah.
But in reality, it is. But then it shows how finite Formula 1 of a motorsport is.
Yeah. How accurate everything has to be.
Yeah, because
there's stats where they say
it's
something like £1 million takes off. I'm making this up, but it's something like £1 million takes off a tenth of a second or something. There's huge amount of money that has to be spent taking off the time.
But I enjoy it. It was actually said at Austria how Raikkonen was. I think it was 0.3 of a second behind Vettel, and they said that's not good enough.
Yeah, that's mad.
They're saying that's not. He should be pushing more. That's 0.3. That's mental.
I mean, how quickly does it take to blink?
Well, about 0.3.
Exactly.
Well, not.
But no.
I did just blink. I had to think about it.
Well, I think we'll put it this way. I think a Formula 1 car can gear shift 55 times faster than you can blink.
Wow.
I like that.
Something mental.
But that's the thing, 0.3 seconds is nothing, but in F1 it's everything.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I mean, you said it when we were watching it together. You said, you know, it's amazing how after 71 laps they still finish. Yeah, well, there was seconds in it after 71 laps.
0.6.
Yeah,
0.6
in a finishing time.
1.6
That's how close it is.
Seconds between first and second.
Well, wasn't there one point
it's just on a wire, isn't it?
He was just well ahead though, wasn't he? And then
he started well, and then
Yeah, and to be fair, Vettel reeled him in, and Vettel said if he had one more lap, he'd probably
one more lap. Yeah,
that's what
but he almost did that in Russia as well, didn't he?
Yeah,
he was closing them in on Russia.
But I think Bottas can keep people behind him quite well, and like I don't think Vettel really had too much of an opportunity. I don't know, like.
Well, then Hamilton was closing in on Ricardo as well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but that's what we were saying. The last bit was actually quite like
exciting.
Yeah, but the rest of it was just like.
And the next race after Baku, nothing was going to be.
No, we said that.
But the only thing that was annoying, which is just classic F1, is that everything. Like, oh my, it's going to be so close to the end of the race. Will it rain? Will it do this? Will this happen? And then in the end, nothing actually happened. There was no overtakes. Nothing actually happened. It just got a little bit close, and everyone got excited.
Is Silverstone next?
Yeah, it's this weekend.
This weekend.
Yeah.
Speaking of England and Silverstone, there's a Grand Prix event. There's a Formula 1 event tomorrow in London on the 12th.
Which I can't go to.
I don't think we're going to go to.
No,
just
really annoying.
They announced
Goodwood
it
as well. Goodwood was last week.
Yeah, we did.
I would love that.
So do you know
I went to Goodwood when I was really.
There was a YouTuber who went to Goodwood, and he there was a Le Mans. He came first 2014, I think, and then second last year. And he got to drive around in a 4GT. This YouTuber with him. That's amazing. It's the new 4 as well. Yeah.
Oh, I do like that. I like the look of that.
Yeah, no. You know who also won't be at the? Well, don't think will be at the F1 event tomorrow in London.
Hamilton.
And it wasn't at Goodwood.
It wasn't a Goodwood.
I swear.
Because
yeah, I know. Right? I swear, Lewis hates motorsport.
Yeah, it is. It's just like he wants to be someone else.
I mean, we do like it, but there's not enough
I'll swap.
Yeah.
Do you want to fuck the average car show?
It's weird. I feel Bottas and Hamilton
I'll take second in the championship.
opposites. Like Bottas to me gives the impression of he's very focused on F1. He'll research a track inside and out. I'm not
always
saying
on
Hamilton...
Instagram liking people.
Yeah.
Like
what's this?
There's a video of
Cherry of the Day, right? And it's just like videos, random stuff, just like people falling off of skis and like
mostly skis,
running into walls and stuff like that. And there was one of them. We were just scrolling down. One of them was this guy on a motorbike who hit it. Was it r/surprise puddles? Is that what it is?
Yeah, it's r/surprise puddles, and I'm turning around in like a quite a wide puddle, and instead of just going down by like an inch, they fell into it.
Fully nosed, like this is the puddle. It was just like it must have been a massive.
Well, it must have been about 6 feet deep.
Right.
And just down.
And they just went into.
And it was liked by Valtteri Bottas.
Yeah, we also found one where.
Was it his official page? Though?
Yeah,
it was his official page. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And there was one where there was a golf buggy going over a jump and like hitting a bunker and stuff.
Oh yeah, you got some
and like he fell out.
Yeah.
Oh, 40,000 people like this. Also like Valtteri. So I don't.
It's so weird to think he does that in his spare time, isn't he? He's just there, bleeding
He's human, isn't he?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah, no,
they are opposite.
I really like Bottas.
I like Bottas.
I've always liked Bottas. I thought he was great. I rember the 2014 Australian Grand Prix, and I felt so sorry for him when he hit the wall. Well, he just clipped it and like lost like 4 or 5 places, but he should have been on the podium.
No, he is good. He is good.
But he was.
Although they are talking about because he's only got 1 year at Mercedes,
and he'll get that.
I've heard lots about Alonso being moved to Mercedes.
Possibly, if it's going to be anyone.
I've heard loads about it, but Hamilton's not going to move. No, they won't get rid of Hamilton.
No,
but
they'd rather piss off
depending
Alonso.
on how Bottas does, I think.
Yeah,
that'd be a tough decision then. Yeah, do you stick with Bottas, who's putting in good times, or I mean, because Alonso obviously
he's not a long term thing. He's like a 1 season.
What Alonso?
Yeah, he's not. He's not got long term left in him. Kind of thing.
But
you do know he'll race well. He's a guaranteed.
Do him and Hamilton get on? I swear they were saying yes.
No, they didn't, but they do now. They have gets to make
reconcile.
But really, that wasn't
it was Canada, wasn't it, when it all went?
Yeah, it was the qualifying.
What happened?
It was
They double
2007,
stacked them, didn't they?
and I think the weather was changing, so they needed to just change the tyres and shoot them out as quick as they could. Alonso was in first. Hamilton followed him in. They let Alonso go, and he sat there.
Wait, Alonso sat there.
Alonso sat there.
They were double stacking them, weren't
They were double stacking them so that they can get them in and out as quick as possible. They could do a flying lap and possibly be on the front of the grid. Alonso sat there just enough time for the clock to count down so that Alonso got round and started his lap again, but Hamilton didn't. He timed it really well, and Ron Dennis, the team principal, was pissed.
You would be though.
Oh yeah,
you would be.
Yeah, but I mean, a lot happened in 2011 with McLaren because Ron Dennis told Alonso he'd be number one driver, and then they brought in Hamilton, and they actually gave him equal everything. Pissed off Alonso, fair enough. Nothing really to do with Lewis. Just it was a surprise that Lewis was at the front,
and they were taking him so seriously as well.
Yeah,
being so young.
And McLaren were disqualified from the 2007 Constructors' Championship because they were taking information from Ferrari through some kind of they were.
Were they sharing it or taking it from them?
Someone at Ferrari was sharing.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, and they were using it to their advantage, and then
Ron Dennis is a shady character though. Did you hear how he officially announced him leaving McLaren?
Didn't he just sell all his shares?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I was really surprised. 50% of McLaren got him £250 million. I would have thought it'd be a bit more.
Yeah, maybe, but also
was it only McLaren Formula One team, or was it
McLaren F1? I think.
So that might.
Yeah, I don't know if it's McLaren.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, no. I think it was just the F1 one.
Well, whenabouts was it? Were they?
That was a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah,
a couple of weeks. Well, their share price has probably dropped like a rock, or like a boulder. That's a better one. Because
like a paper out. No,
fair. True. Well, I guess actually, on paper, it would be like if Manor sold their shares at the moment. Because
when did they start in Formula One? When did they?
As in McLaren are now the equivalent of Manor.
Aren't they quite recent
in the drivers' constructors?
Yeah,
that's probably why it's not as much as I thought it would. If he did that 4 or 5 years ago, that might be why.
When did Manor start? Whether as in Formula One?
They started in 2010.
2010.
They were Virgin.
They were, weren't they? Yeah, Virgin.
And then I think in 2012 it switched to. I'm sure what it was.
Do you know how Martini, the alcohol, they sort of sponsor or a Formula One? Is it their own Formula One team?
Williams. It is, yeah.
I think in future to come, it's going to be the same thing with the cigarettes, where they have to ban the cigarettes. They have to ban the alcohol.
Oh, I thought you meant.
Because there's the same sort of principle. Like cigarette adverts used to be glamorous and
that's
cool,
why
and
Honda
alcohol adverts
started
are
to
now.
struggle because they had BAR, and then
they had Marlboro.
Heineken's sponsoring and everything as well now. I think that's actually
it went
because the stigma of cigarettes used to be how we view alcohol now. Because the adverts of them, they're all so glamorous and whatnot. But I think 20 years.
I remember Liverpool used to have Carlsberg as their shirt sponsor, and when they'd play some European matches, I think mainly France, they weren't allowed to wear Carlsberg on their shirts.
Really?
Because it's advertising alcohol. But it was the whole thing because Marlboro went from McLaren to Ferrari. And they had, do you remember when they kind of had a barcode on the back of the Ferrari? It looked like the barcode.
I think
that was just after the regulation came in for you can't advertise cigarettes.
Yeah, it's 2006.
And they, something like that. And they said, okay, well, we're going to get around this. We're going to put a barcode. And they got fined for it because they thought, I don't know, I think it must have been FIA or something like that. They thought it still looks like Marlboro. It was just it did look like a barcode, but it still used the same colour, and everyone sort of, because it's been on the same.
They knew what it was.
Because it's been there for the last 4 years. This is a big thing, you can look this up. Yeah, it's because it's been there for the last 4 years. Everybody already sort of knows that Marlboro's been there. They know what they mean, and they were just sort of like saying, well, yeah, we're still going to.
In a weird way, it makes you think about it even because obviously advertising's meant to make a stick in your memory, and if you're seeing the advertisement, but then you're thinking
it's not even a proper advertisement,
but you're thinking about it more, so you're thinking about that.
The best
so it sticks in your brain more.
The best adverts is subtle adverts like guerrilla marketing and subconscious and
sellotape.
Huh?
Sellotape. Well, sellotape's a brand. Zip ties.
I think I've only seen, yeah,
It's a brand.
zip ties. Everybody
Hoover, it's a brand.
advertises zip ties just by using zip ties. You see a zip tie holding up the craziest things. Like I was at the White Hart the other day, and they're plant pots on the railings by the gym, by the pavilion. That's zip ties. All of those plant pots, just zip ties.
I wouldn't really look
Crazy.
at that. I think that's an advertisement for zip ties. But yes, I
You
get
know
what
what
you
I mean? They're indestructible.
They are.
No, right, but because the thing, Ron Dennis is always, he just sort of ballsed up this time because he's changed McLaren's engine suppliers many times and it's usually worked.
Well, they went from Mercedes to Peugeot.
Porsche.
They did have Porsche.
Did they have Peugeot?
Yeah. They went to Honda, then Mercedes.
And he won a constructors under
each
all of
one,
them, didn't he?
Yeah.
So he just kind of messed this one up and that was it. So
No, he didn't mess this one up. Honda messed it up.
Honda messed it up.
If Honda,
Yeah,
they won
but-
constructors with Honda before, then you think, it's going to be
I guess.
Well, yeah, and they were so incredibly successful and they're a massive company. And frankly, this is probably the worst type of advertising they can get.
Yeah.
And then when you said, and then you say, look, Alonso, look, all right, we'll give you a break. We'll put you in an Indy car. We'll give you one of our cars. We'll put you at the front, and you could possibly win it. How does that sound? He goes, yeah. My engine blew.
Engine failure, yeah.
Classic.
Well, great.
That's such a shame, that actually.
Like, how embarrassing.
It was
Bernie
really
Eccleston
good.
was really annoyed though when he went to over to Indy. He wasn't happy that he
Bugger all now.
he did. Yeah, stress. Yeah, but I love that he got an interview where he interviewed I think Channel 4 or BBC. And
Was it Eddie Jordan?
Yeah. It was,
That was the Top Gear.
Top Gear. That's the one. Yeah, and he just makes me laugh how blunt he is, how pissed off he was.
For like an episode or two.
Yeah, it was after
Yeah, he wasn't
God.
happy.
No, it was,
And Eddie Jordan, it was before the season started, I think, and he was like, do you want Ferrari at the front this year? And he said, I shouldn't say anything, but yes, I do.
Oh man,
But-
he's a character, isn't
He is.
he bought Formula One a couple of decades ago or
he?
something. He bought the sponsorship deals and he's changed
I think
it.
he was in charge for 40 years.
Wow.
And now they brought in 30 people to do his one job.
Yeah.
And you've got Chase Carey, Ross Brawn, and someone else. And Chase Carey's pretty good at what he does.
Is he
cool
a fellow American?
Yeah.
He is a fellow American.
Ah, nice.
But Ross Brawn managing the technical side and the actual teams and everything.
He's going to do all
That is the best thing.
Yeah.
That is the best thing
He's got good
that could have
ideas.
happened.
Why?
He's just got good ideas.
He's been. He ran Ferrari. He ran Mercedes.
Successfully.
He ran Brawn, obviously, Brawn GP. Yeah, massively
How do you
successful.
successfully
And
run a Formula One team?
Well, Brawn had one season and they won.
And they won
constructors and drivers.
So this
That's
is.
pretty successful.
Yeah. That's 100%.
I just want to know the ins and outs for that.
I came, I saw, I conquered.
I
And
bugger
then
off.
left, and I
I
bugger
couldn't-
off.
I
Yeah,
couldn't
so
afford it,
I'm done with this team. I'm going to move on to another one.
Here, Mercedes.
And then he brought Mercedes to where they are now. Really, he sort of shot.
Yeah, well, it was
up.
2000.
He pioneered.
It was 2013 that he left, I think.
Yeah,
And he bought Lewis Hamilton in,
yeah. Schumacher
and he promised him.
replaced with Hamilton, wasn't it?
Yeah, and he promised him a world championship, and he
He
got,
got
two.
two.
So far.
Yeah. Rosberg got the other one. Which you can tell that grains it in, can't you?
Who?
Hamilton.
Well, that
He's missed out on that season.
Oh
You
gosh,
can
yeah.
tell that's dented him. That would dent anyone, to be
That
honest, in such a way that he lost
so
it.
nice
I
But
think
because
what-
it was Rosberg, I think that's
No, I
even
think
more
what
denting.
what's dented him is that he's lost one, and then the rules have changed and the regulations have changed, and he's now on his way to losing another.
I think another thing that pissed me off
That's
was the fact
what's-
that Rosberg just left, so he didn't get a chance to claim it back. You know what I mean?
I think so.
Like,
It's
if
about-
I lost in no circumstance that he
It's
did,
kind of
and
like
then I'd be
playing.
like, well, I want to get you back.
Yeah, it's like playing like it with your friends, and then as soon as you go, I'm not
It's
playing
like,
anymore.
right, I'm gonna play,
Yeah,
I'll go back inside.
You lost, I'm not playing anymore. I win.
That is actually, it's the same feeling. It's like,
like I get he's a dad and he only really wanted to win one, but if he said from the start, I want to win one, and then Then you
I
get to
can
your gala, and
see-
you've got your trophy, you're just like there, and then you're on your private jet and you're like talking to your team boss. It's just like, oh my god, I'm so excited for the next year. And then your team boss leaves and you rings them saying I'm quitting. It's just like, are you kidding? Like,
Yeah, because I saw an interview and the
Man.
guy he said the same. Yeah, he literally was trying to talk to me when he had them round for dinner or something.
Yeah.
And then you could feel that. What's the Mercedes boss called? again? Yeah, and they were just having a meal, and Rosberg was a bit off, and then he left and he called him up and said, I've been trying to find a way to tell you this. So I figured the best way is over the phone. Yeah, by the way,
yeah.
you're it.
So I was like, oh, why is Nico ringing me? He's like, is everything okay? Do you want me to come back? He went, no, don't come back. I can't say this to you.
Yeah, don't come back, and I'm not either. Anyway.
Yeah,
They all said they
literally.
respected it though. They all said they respected his decision. Not one person said they didn't.
I respect that.
In a way, it's quite
Yeah.
admirable.
Yes.
Nah.
In a
okay,
way,
yeah, no,
he,
look,
he
said
achieved
that's
his
enough.
goal. He's
That's-
quit on a high.
He did
Because look
put
at
on the
Schumacher.
highest thing.
Look at Schumacher. He shouldn't have come back.
Okay,
I
yeah,
don't
fair
think.
enough.
Yeah, but
Personally.
I'm still happy that we saw him race.
I'm glad that we saw him race, but I just don't think that did him any good.
I don't think so. No, like it was.
There's a lot of examples of that.
Yeah.
Mm.
Like, but then there is good example. Like Raikkonen came back, and I'm glad he did.
It's like take that.
When did he take a break out? Are you not glad he did?
No, he left 2000 after 2009. He went to 2010.
He did some
went
rallying,
to,
didn't he?
He went to WRC. Yeah.
Oh,
And
I'm
then
glad
he
he
came
came back. I
And
love
then came back in
Raikkonen.
2012.
Did he do
Yeah.
well at WRC? I don't
No.
actually.
It was like mid-table.
Yeah.
The thing, and he crashed a lot.
Mm.
But he was with Red Bull. He was with the Red
Was he?
Bull team. Red Bull main sponsor. I can't remember the team. But
I'm glad he came back.
I'm glad he
he's an
came
important
back.
part to the grid, I think. I was thinking this the other day.
yeah,
He's a personality,
He
which
is.
is what Formula One
Yeah.
needs sometimes.
He
Isn't he?
is.
He's a personality.
he is. Yeah. It's just a shame. It's a shame. He did win 2 races with Lotus,
Oh, yeah, Lotus.
and there were 2 consecutive races.
Australia, wasn't it?
Abu Dhabi 2012 and Australia 2013.
yeah.
The last.
That
and
was the
first race.
season where, wasn't it, the first 7 races, there were 7 different winners.
2012. Yeah.
Was that 12?
Yeah.
That
And do
was
you
a
know?
good start. That.
I know we were kind of doing something like a little bit of a trivia quiz, but I do know each of those.
I'm
7
gonna
races.
lose.
And I bet you I can do it right now.
I'm trying to think. Because it started off with a Renault, didn't it? In Australia? 2012? I thought it was 2000. I could have swore it started
No,
off with
I know what it
Raikkonen.
was. No, it was Button.
Right.
Then it was
I'm going to
Button.
put this on the screen.
This is
and
right.
We'll never know if he's right.
Okay, look, it was
I've not got a clue.
Until I edit this together and show you it, you're never going to know if you're right.
it was Button in no,
What
no.
was the question?
In the
The-
first 7 races of 2012, there were 7 different winners.
Right.
So you got Button in the McLaren in Australia. You got Alonso in the Ferrari in Malaysia. You've got Nico Rosberg, his first win in Mercedes in China. Then you've got
Do you know like how
Vettel in Bahrain.
Let him do his thing, let him do his
You've got
thing.
Vettel in Bahrain for the Red Bull. You've
you've
got
got-
Maldonado
Oh,
in
yeah.
Williams
Yeah,
in Spain. Then you've got
Webber's got to be.
You got Mark Webber in the 6th race for Monaco in the Red Bull. You've got then Lewis Hamilton in the McLaren in Canada, and then in Valencia, the 8th race, which broke the thing. Vettel was leading, and he had one of the most dominant races of his career. Engine blew up or something. He had some kind of failure, and then Alonso took it.
No.
And that's how that happened.
Probably
That
that's right,
that sounded correct.
I think I got that all right.
You're good at
Genuinely.
facts, though. You're good at
Yeah, I do like
you
my
are
trivia.
really good at that.
Yeah, thank you. I did a little F1 quiz a little while ago, and it was all like really obscure or something. I can't remember. It was quotes.
Mm.
I can't quite remember. I think it was when people have got angry at each other and what they've said.
Right.
And
Was
it
that on BBC?
quotes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was
yeah.
7 out of 7.
Oh,
That's nice.
This was a good trivia one.
Mhm.
Fiji 2007.
Yeah.
So remember in Baku
Mhm.
how Vettel got penalised for being aggressive, and
Mm.
Hamilton. Vettel said brake tested him. In 2007, same race, Vettel got done for dangerous driving, and Hamilton in the same race got done for backing up the grid. In the exact same race, 2007 Fiji.
That's interesting.
And then it almost happened.
I thought that was going to be a question.
Jeez, you see that red kite that just came down there?
Oh, I saw it there. I saw it at the back.
Blimey, you just killed
They are
something.
huge, those things.
They're huge.
You know, when you're up there, it's like
You can't see anything.
You can't see that. That was actually crazy.
Yeah. Oh, wow, there's an explosion.
Whoa! Alright, fella.
They are big, aren't they?
Yeah, they're like.
See, fellow Americans, our equivalent of eagles are red kites.
Or that one
Are
fellow
they big
American
now,
Actually
actually.
bigger than eagles, you know?
No.
No.
No?
No.
Have you seen eagles?
I have seen eagles before.
They're mental.
They are huge.
I always
They have
want
2
to
metre
see a
wingspan.
wandering albatross.
They have a 2 metre wingspan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wandering albatross is the
They're
biggest
big.
flying bird,
Yeah.
and that's like mental. I don't even
It's
know.
like a glider.
Yeah.
A small aircraft.
I mean, you know, you piggyback.
But we're on 26.5 minutes.
Right, we've chatted.
We wanted to talk about Formula 1 and Formula E, but we'll
can
do
say
that
that
next
on-
time.
we'll do that on the
We'll do that.
podcast,
Stay tuned
yeah.
for that. That's going to be a good
Stay tuned,
To be
guys!
fair, actually, that was quite a good chat, and I
It was.
realised.
factual.
Can we just? I'm just gonna say, before we started officially releasing these podcasts, we did. What was it 3?
Yeah.
And somehow all of them managed to be way more jokey and way less
But that's
serious.
good,
than
yeah.
the two that
We
we've
do
done
need,
so
I'll
far.
show that we
serious.
need to have like an entertaining side where we take the piss, and then because remember we're going for like you learn something, you have a serious talk, and then we take the
You
piss.
laugh,
And then we take
you learn, you laugh, and you cry.
But
Let's
not
hope you're
cry
not
a bit.
crying.
No, we don't want to cry.
the general rule in theatre.
CPG KMS.
Always make them laugh, sometimes make them cry.
Yes.
That's theatre rules.
Yes.
So if you want to do that, that's a good one. Good.
Theatre.
No, I don't want to.
So why'd you go?
cry?
I do. Especially if they're related to me. What?
Let's end this.
That's a very okay. That's a really good. That's
This
a
is
very
me, Uncle Jim. What?
This is right.
No, we made it jokey. There we go.
There we go.
All right. Well, we ended on some charm.
Jim touched my penis. There we go.
Yeah, well, exactly. Come on.
I mean, it's
How did that go so badly so quickly?
It's unoriginal, but
Right.
you know.
Let's
I have a tiny penis. There we go. That's another one.
let's end this here.
Well, I just want to say that was a very factual podcast.
That was actually,
Yeah. Especially the bit I made.
We learn a
Yeah,
lot.
Yeah,
we
with
teach-
your-
I mean, I
with
do
your-
have a minuscule penis.
we teach each other things. I didn't
yeah.
know that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know like when you go to school trousers and you sat down and it kind of was a little bump?
Well,
Like that
yeah.
actual bump was all of my penis.
Oh right. So did you just have a perpetual bone?
I did. Yeah, it was more like
That's a great word.
half-eaten twister. You know the twister ice lollies you get? Half-eaten.
Oh
It
yeah,
was-
yeah.
It was also the same
Was it also
texture.
Yeah.
Well,
Was it
green and
red?
red. I was a teenager.
Was it green?
Yeah, was it the lime one or the
Oh,
strawberry?
I didn't look at it that much. I tried avoiding it, to be honest. I was.
Oh no, we're gonna go for a win!
Twisters were great.
No hands. Anyway.
Right.
What the hell is this? This go to all of a sudden.
Okay.
I like
Thanks for
men
joining us for podcast 2. That
Yes,
was,
thank you. That was
Austria.
very fun. I also kind of liked the conservatory,
I liked it too. I think it gives us.
but we don't know how
We
it's
can
going to
change
change
it
it.
up.
We may have
It's
to
good
change
lighting.
it.
I like it.
It is good
Selfie
lighting.
lighting.
And we're only worried about red kites and not crashing into
Oh yeah, and we're
surprise vans
We
like
can
in the
just
first
watch
one. Sorry?
What?
Oh, alright.
Join us on the next podcast where we'll talk about Silverstone.
Yeah,
which
we
is
will,
next week.
actually, which is next week. So
Or Formula
pretty
1
soon.
versus Formula E.
And then hopefully, if not,
Or
what
my
happens-
uncle. That would be
Depends
more.
what-
That would be more of me and
Stay
you.
tuned for
That
what
would
was
just
his
be
uncle's
a
name again?
confession.
Oh, Eddie's uncle is Bob. Bob's your uncle.
Bob is my
Bob
uncle.
is his uncle.
Yes, I thought.
That's
I'm
fun
wondering where
fact.
you're going with that because there's plenty of things.
Can I just say?
No, we're not going to do that.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah,
No, okay.
Can I,
Well, like
just-
that.
Can I
Yeah.
just, my uncle is just in case he's watching, which he probably aren't.
No, where's
Then
this going?
yeah, that was a joke.
This is terrifying.
Let him say what he wants to say.
Go ahead.
No,
We're waiting. We've
You
now
can say
said
it
30
now.
minutes. So 4 minutes ago, we were just like, we should end this.
I mean, I don't know how to start.
Is
Well,
this
well,
gonna
it
go
all began
like
when,
Jeremy Kyle?
Yeah, where did
Or
he touch
Dr.
you?
Phil?
It's not Jeremy
You fellow
Kyle.
Americans.
It's more like a documentary on the Catholic Church.
Oh, God.
Right. Bye.